Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to another news update where today we are going to be discussing the future of Adventure Coast over in Southport, where recently we have heard news that they are planning a brand new roller coaster. So of course, let's go back a little bit here. So originally this park used to be known as Southport Pleasureland, of course located in Southport, and they used to be home to quite a lot of rides and attractions. However, they seem to have scaled back a bit over the last few years. They currently have one roller coaster in operation, and that is a Wacky Worm. So they don't have any particularly big coasters at the moment. They do have another coaster that's standing but not operating, but that's another family coaster. However, it has recently been announced that they are looking at building a brand new roller coaster. So of course, again, if we turn the clock back a little bit, back in 2021 the park did unveil plans to build a large permanent thrill coaster. With this park it tends to be a lot of travelling rides and temporary flat rides, however they keep them in there permanently. They've started to go a lot more down the themed route recently to make their rides look a lot more permanent, even though they are still technically temporary rides. However, they're going much more down the permanent route now, and as part of that they want to bring in a brand new roller coaster that is of course going to be permanent for this park. So in 2021 the plans were first announced for a brand new large-scale thrill coaster to be coming to the park. Originally there was a lot of talk about it being one of the Zamperla Thunderbolts. However, it was confirmed by the owner of the park a few weeks after that all kind of blew up that it wasn't going to be a Zamperla roller coaster. It was then discussed that there may be another type of coaster that it was going to be, such as a Gerstlauer Eurofighter, and you can see a photo of it on the screen here. So this has actually been kind of circulating around social media for the last few years now. Planning permission was supposed to be submitted, however it never really did. Like, since the announcement back in 2021 that they were planning on building this coaster, it's all been completely silent. A lot of people have thought it had been cancelled, myself included. However, like, if you look on RCDB it'll still say opening in 2026. However, it's pretty clear that's not happening because no kind of work has happened with it. However, it seems like that plans are kind of coming back for this coaster, because a lot of talk has been going around on social media about this coaster again. So yeah, planning permission was supposed to be submitted, however nothing ever happened with it, and 5 years later we're still waiting and the coaster has not been built. However, recently on a post on Twitter, someone commented on one of the park's posts, and they were asking what happened to that Gerstlauer Eurofighter that was planned to be built. The owner of the park then commented back on that, saying that they actually have plans for 2 roller coasters. In terms of whether this is 2 separate projects or whether these are 2 separate coasters that are being considered and they're deciding which one of the 2 they want, I'm not too sure. A lot of people seem to be thinking that it's going to be both. However, with a small park like this, I imagine they don't have the funds to build 2 big permanent coasters right now, so I imagine it's only going to be the one. However, there are supposedly also plans for a wooden coaster to be coming to this park, a Gravity Group switchback style coaster, which certainly looks very interesting, as you can see from this photo just here. But there we go, so there's 2 coasters that are currently being planned for Adventure Coast in Southport, literally going from one Wacky Worm and now they're suddenly like, right, we want to build all of them. So yeah, there's 2 potential coasters that could be opening here. So of course, with that original Gerstlauer Eurofighter, nothing has happened with that yet. That was announced 5 years ago, still nothing has happened with it. To be honest, I wouldn't expect either of these coasters to open anytime soon, because bear in mind, planning permission has still got to be applied for, and then a decision's got to be made on that, and then construction, so there's still a lot to do. And bear in mind, we have been waiting 5 years and nothing has happened with the other one, so it could easily be that situation again, whereas something could be planned and then for whatever reason it just doesn't go ahead. It still seems like they are planning that Gerstlauer Eurofighter though, that they were planning so long ago. It still seems like they want to get that built, so that will certainly really like put this park on the map for UK theme parks, because it is a pretty small seaside hillside park. However, with a big Gerstlauer Eurofighter in there and potentially a Gravity Group Woody as well, that's two big reasons to go and visit this park. So that will be really interesting to see, and also further kind of showing people that they're going in a much different direction now. Rather than temporary rides, they're going in a much more permanent rides route now. Like a few years ago, I believe it was 2023, they opened two new flat rides. They opened a booster and a pendulum. This year, I believe they've got a new Starflyer. So it's very interesting what's going on at the moment. They seem to be expanding quite a lot. And then, of course, I think it was 2024 where the name officially changed from Southport Pleasureland to Adventure Coast Southport. And that was the point where we were thinking maybe this coaster's going to start getting talked a bit about again. However, it was still completely silent until now, where we find out that there's two potential coasters getting built, which is really, really exciting. But other than that, we literally know nothing about this so far. I'll keep you updated with what's going on. Hopefully, planning permission will be put forward at some point this year, and then maybe we could start to see construction next year if they got a response back quickly. I don't imagine we're going to be seeing either of these coasters opening before 2028. I feel like that's the earliest that one of these rides would open. However, I'm leaning towards more of a 2029 opening based on how much there is still to do to actually get these projects going before even construction could begin. So there's still a lot to do. However, it is very exciting to hear that there are big expansion plans for this park. I've never been here before, and I'll tell you what, I'll have to make sure I go at some point. And once these two coasters open, if they do, at least, then yeah, that's definitely going to be a reason for everyone to get down there and go and ride these coasters. But there we go, there's a bit of a quick news update here. Not too much information on this, I just wanted to kind of talk about this because this is very exciting news for the UK theme park industry. Potentially another two big coasters coming to the UK over the next few years. There's already a lot that we know is coming to the UK over the next few years. Of course, next year we've got Minecraft World opening at Chessington. We've also got Paultons Park, which are building their new attraction in 2027, which is rumoured to be a water coaster. There is so much coming up over the next few years, of course, leading up to 2031 when Universal Studios Great Britain is going to open, which is so exciting. I still can't believe that's happening. Construction's going ahead. It's so exciting to think that we're going to be having a Universal theme park here in the UK in 2031. And I imagine that a lot of these parks are getting worried now. Like, they're going to be thinking, right, we need to start expanding now. Of course, there's lots of plans going on at Chessington, Paw Patrol opening this year, Minecraft next year. There is so much stuff going on. And of course, Legoland have got their 5-year plan. They're potentially opening a new coaster in 2028, which is really exciting. So there is a lot to look forward to, and this will certainly be another one of those projects to keep a close eye on. But that's now the end of this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.